Hey guys, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel. I'm happy to have you with me today. I would like to apologize for being gone from the channel over the course of the past month or so. I did have several valid reasons. Performing is one of those. The Christmas season is the busiest time for me personally as a music artist, but I also have been sick with multiple illnesses during that time, and I'm still recovering from one of those. But I did just want to get on here before you guys totally just forgot about me and thought that I had just decided to quit. Not the case. Just been a very, very busy, very hectic, and very stressful holiday season for me. But I was able to get my hands on a couple of really popular items for you guys, and I wanted to go ahead and discuss those with you. I originally thought maybe I would like is the shade Eggshell 325, and here's the packaging on these, by the way. The one I ended up loving is a matching shade to my foundation, so this is going to be really easy for me. This is shade 355 Vanilla. And I'm going to hold them side by side for you. I hope you can tell. I will put them on my hand. Eggshell is more of a neutral, and it is super fair. And I believe this is what I did wrong when I ordered my Shape Tape, because I thought I just wanted to get a super light shade to highlight, but I ended up going with the shade called White Sand, and I think this is pretty similar to my Shape Tape. I think I still have a little bit in a container. I could test that out for you guys if you care to see that, but I think this is similar to White Sand. Let's talk about same type of applicator, same type of packaging, coincidentally same amount in here as in the Shape Tape, same type of applicator, except this one has more of a divot where your product can lie, and then same type of dispenser. Okay, so you don't get a whole ton at a time. You do have to dip back in and out. It smells very similar to the foundation. I'm not sure why, because as far as I know, this has no sunscreen in it. However, it is a matte finish, and I like that. So the smell doesn't bother me, but I'm just telling you because it could potentially bother some of you. Has a very strong smell, and this is a straight up, just flat out, like L'Oreal is saying, we are duping Shape Tape, because this even has a built-in corrector, as they talk about on the Shape Tape, and you know, full wear. It's just, it's a full-on, as you can see, dupe of the Shape Tape, and in my opinion, this is the best one I've seen. This is super, super full coverage, much more full coverage than the Makeup Revolution. Let me take this hand, and yeah, this is the one I used. I'm just going to apply these next to each other. I'm going to put this one in the middle, because this is the medium lightest shade that I got. This is one I used under my eyes. This is what I used to highlight and brighten. This is all I have on under my eyes, okay? Alright, that's just a minimal amount. It's really hard to get anything super light coverage out of this. You're just not really going to. And I'll just blend it in with my finger. You can see how much lighter that is than expected. And you can see that that is a really perfect brightening shade for me, for my skin tone. This dries matte as well, and that is part of the claims. It dries matte, so you don't have to powder this one. I know that Makeup Forever, I think I just saw Katie do a video on that, is coming out with a concealer that is no set. Well, this is no set in my opinion. This really lays nicely once blended out. You just need a small amount, and I don't have any powder on under my eyes, and I love that, because you know, powder, especially on aging skin, is not your friend. last time I looked on here, the concealer was not showing on the website. The foundation is showing, but not the concealer yet. It is on here now. Okay. I will say there's quite a few shades on here. I will count them in just a minute. Full coverage with a flawless matte finish. Multi-use formula. Conceals imperfections while doubling as a contour and highlight. I mean, we've seen this said directly on the Shape Tape description. Shape your face by going 1 to 2 shades deeper to contour, or 1 to 2 shades lighter to highlight and brighten. Extra coverage applicator provides maximum coverage in one stroke to cover under eye circles, acne, and discoloration. I agree. Waterproof. I believe the Shape Tape, I can never say that right. I don't know why. I believe the Shape Tape also claims to be waterproof, and I did test this underwater. I tested the makeup underwater because I believe the foundation is also claiming to be a waterproof foundation, transfer resistant, sweat resistant, and I did run my hands underwater, and I put it through pretty good wear test on that, and it didn't budge. So I'm gonna say I must also give it to them for that. Okay, so again, it said this is exactly what the foundation says too. Won't transfer, fade, or flake. So your high coverage look is locked in place all day. A little goes a long way. 25 full coverage shades for every skin tone. Now, I want to say that Shape Tape might have a few more than that, but 25 shades for the drugstore is pretty good. This is kind of what we're looking at for the different shades. The lightest is checked, so it looks super light on my phone, but yeah, I'm going to see if this is set down. So yeah, I mean, it's still a little tacky because I put it on so thick, but you can see that it's totally drying matte. So this is the shade Vanilla. Claims to be creaseless as well, just like the Shape Tape. Now, I don't know that it's creaseless, but I will say this is the best drugstore concealer I personally have ever used. Okay, let me just show you what Eggshell looks like in comparison, and I'll also put out just a little bit of the Pecan. Since this is the lightest one, I'm going to put it here. Here is the Eggshell. This would definitely more for fair skin. And to me, this is more of a neutral undertone, whereas you can see this has more of a yellow warm undertone. Eggshell is more of what I consider neutral. 355 Vanilla is more what I consider warm. Okay, these are for under my eyes, or what I thought I'd need. I could mix these if I needed to and get, you know, a more brightening look if I wanted. So I'm going to keep them all. As it turns out, I've kind of addicted to this stuff already. And then let's just swatch the Pecan. And because this has a peach undertone, I'm able to use this on my melasma spots and my spots, my discoloration. And I really like this because it is matte. See how peach that is? I really like this because it's matte and it's not adding greasiness to my face. My foundation, let me just blend that out a little bit. And you can see just how dark the Pecan shade is. Let me take it over this way, make it even as I can. The Pecan shade is right here. And you can tell that minus the peach, the super peach, it blends pretty well into my skin. And that's what I like, especially for, again, like right in here, I have my melasma that I cover. And to me, it's perfect that this is matte, because that's where I tend to break down first in my foundations, and I haven't noticed that with this at all. And that's really what I loved about my Shape Tape, was that it was just so full coverage. I could kind of pinpoint where I wanted it and then blend it out. I personally like to use just a sponge, and you can see that nothing is coming through. I mean, nothing. This is probably one of the most flawless foundation looks that I personally have had in a very long time. So it does dry down a little bit darker, so you can see that it's not my exact skin tone, but the peach in it I used before my foundation, and I can cancel out all of that before I apply my foundation, and it really just goes over it very nicely. So again, the same amount, 0.33 ounces, the same exact amount as in the Shape Tape, and I'm trying to see how much these were. I was able to get mine on Amazon, and I believe they were $1 or $2 cheaper, but on the website, the L'Oreal Paris website, the concealer is going to retail for $12.99. Now, I am in agreement. You guys know that my channel is about that. I don't like to spend a lot of money as far as overpaying for products, but I also, if you know me, I'm about recommending products that work, okay? So for the prices, these are great, okay? This is half the price of Shape Tape. I was able to get 3 of these for much less than I would have been able to get 3 tubes of Shape Tape concealer. And I couldn't justify that in the high-end version, but I can justify it at this price. And also, if you shop at Walgreens or CVS, you can save up your extra bucks or your reward points, and sometimes they will give you money off of these. I know, especially if you shop at CVS, sometimes it can seem so high in there, but a lot of times they'll do a buy one get one half off. And so, you know, you could get 2 of these for, say, $15, and then you could get 2 more, and you technically could get 4 tubes of this for the same price as 1 Shape Tape. So for me, this is a no-brainer, absolute yes. And I really, really like the foundation as well. I didn't think that I was going to love the foundation as much as I do. I hope you guys find this, because currently it is, I believe, $1 or $2 cheaper on Amazon, but I know once this comes out and gets extremely popular, it's not going to be. So I hope that you guys are able to score this. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Here's one more look at the concealer swatches. I don't notice that these have oxidized at all, but I feel like Pecan, for sure, once it dried down, oxidizes a little bit. So know that if you decide to get that, or if you are a darker skin tone, I feel like the darker shades in the concealer are going to oxidize, I want to say like a half a shade or so. So, what's the matter? Yeah, like a half of a shade or so. And the darker ones, I don't feel like these lighter two with less pigment in them have oxidized at all. Love you much, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Here's one more look at filming. I'm filming. How's it going?
At the door.
No, I'm almost done. Just be quiet for a sec.
Huh?
Just shh, shh, shh. Just be quiet for a sec.
Okay.
Here's one more look at the conceal. Dave, you gotta get him to be quiet.